we're doing the writer's strike.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. What do you want to call this one?
Good question. Is that thunder?
Maybe.
The sky looks very not blue out there.
You call it like writer's block or something like that.
I'm so mad I can't eat my fish.
I can get you some extra cheesy goldfish. You put it in a bowl for you or
I'm
something.
so mad.
You know they got stores that sell non-soapy ones.
But it's towards the end of the podcast when I started getting talking fatigue. I slipped in some fish.
I can get you some
and I
fish.
suck on them until they're
Could you
mushy.
steal me another bottle of water?
I can get you a fish. Put it in that cup.
Hey, did I leave my grilling tongs in?
Not the same.
I think I did.
You can put it in a cup. Put it in the bag. Just reach in the bag. Put it in the cup.
I'm so upset. I still have so much fish.
He's so.
It's bad. I think you need to hop on the soapy fish train. I really do.
No, especially if he's still tasting it.
I've been eating them all day. To be fair, I've been eating
Why?
them. I've been eating them all day, and they just started tasting like soap.
We're gonna end up in the hospital.
But I haven't like washed my hands and like not dried them, and then stuck my thing in the bag. So I really don't understand why they taste like that. But I also looked up why do my goldfish taste like soap, and a lot of people have also asked this question. It's a common issue.
That's not good.
Alright.
Guys,
Alright, peeps, we ready? Yeah. What's this, a writer's block?
It's actually really sad. It's actually really sad news. I'm more triggered about this than I am about Jason O'Neill.
I have a feeling we're gonna... Do you want to open this one?
yes. No, I feel pressured. Wait, are you already recording?
Whatever you want.
I just want to look at you. I don't make you nervous.
I'm not saying my full name. I refuse. I'm just saying my first name. You look so sad.
I'm just trying not to look at it. I don't want to make you nervous.
I'm already nervous. Wait, why is my mic upside down?
I don't know. You put it
Is
upside
it
down.
this one? Which one locks it? This?
That one.
Left or right? Let go of it? Okay. Good. Here we go. Maybe. Good. We're gonna go. It's gonna be so bad. Okay. Go. Is it on?
It's been recording, yeah.
We'll cut around. It's all good. Post production.
I
Post
thought that was
production.
supposed to be green.
Nope. Red means record. Green means paused.
And going for a minute and 17 seconds.
This is good stuff.
Now you're laughing. You're never gonna get it done.
Open the podcast. I'll do it next week.
You gonna do it next week? All
I
right.
need to recover.
Sheesh.
Okay. I'm good.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Temporary Insanity. I'm your host, Joshua Lewis Perrin. And with me in studio today are our two BFFs and co-hosts, Mr. William McCoy and Miss Sierra Rose Tanzi. We're a little giggly because Sierra was going to try to open this week, but we're going to try again next week, Sierra. You almost had it.
I thought it was. I wasn't expecting it to be recording the whole time.
Listen, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get this. Look, we're counting on you. That way, if I get hit by a Mack truck or something, we gotta get you guys to be able to open the podcast. Journey to 1,000 miles, right? This week we're gonna have some fun. I think Will is gonna be in mourning this week because he's very, very emotional about the topic of the day, which is entitled Writer's Block. As most of you, if you don't know, should know, the Writers Guild of America is on strike.
They're on strike. So this means the already pushed back Marvel movies I was looking forward to are now being pushed back even further. But I gotta be on the side of the writers because they're fighting for their right for
The
equal
last
pay.
season of Stranger Things was pushed back like 2 years.
And it's been bad for the movie entertainment industry because they really got like a double dose of bad news because they had COVID, which ruined a lot of stuff for them, and now they got the writer's strike. Basically, not even a year after COVID,
I think
quote unquote disappeared.
I think season 2 of Wednesday was stalled. It wasn't even pushed back. It was just stalled.
Yeah, it's like we're just we'll reconvene when we can.
They also have to find a new actor.
Which one?
Percy. Is that his name? Xavier.
Well,
Xavier,
what does
yeah.
Xavier do?
That's the kid that got
Yeah,
accused
that
of
was the kid
the.
who got accused of essaying a
Oh,
15-year-old when
yes,
he was
yes, yes,
19 or something.
Yep.
So I think they fired him. That might just be a rumor. I don't know for sure, but I think it's a thing.
So this, and I was mentioning this to Sierra while you were stepping away, Josh. This might mean that the best movie out for a long time might be the Barbie movie, because the Barbie movie is cleaning up in the theaters, and now the writers are on strike.
Well, yeah, I mean, I will tell you what. I went to go see Sound of Freedom.
Actually, I'm seeing that eventually too.
And I will tell you what. I will tell you what. I don't suppose that they were on strike.
Sorry.
Got your mic there adjusted there?
Yeah, it was sorry.
But wasn't that movie also like, I don't know if it was written or if it was made like a couple years ago?
So here's the thing. There was a lot of controversy about this movie, and this kind of ties in. It was written. It was passed up by Disney. It was passed up by a bunch of other places. Warner Brothers didn't want nothing to do with it. Angel Productions, the same people that do Chosen and all that stuff, all the let's call it the Jesus movies. My people, our people, decided to take a chance on it. Written and based on a true story. Took a chance on it. Went to theater, produced it. They were supposed to be out for literally, I think, like 5 days.
It was a limited showing.
It was supposed to be a limited, small time showing. They dropped on July 4th, same time as Harrison Ford's movie. What's it called? Indiana Jones. And they took Indiana Jones to the cleaner, to the point where they are still showing in theater, and that movie was insane. If I had to describe it with one word, it would be heavy.
See, I'm not a movie person. I get way too distracted way too quickly, especially now that all movies are like 4 hours long.
Listen, this movie was heavy. This movie, I mean, it was about
My mom
the
gave me
trafficking
her free
thing.
tickets. I just didn't want to see it.
It was heavy though. I mean, I get this, like, it captivated my attention. Compared to the budget of Indiana Jones and all that stuff, I mean, they did it.
Because Angel Studios is still considered an indie studio, right? 'Cause they're not a huge studio. Obviously, they make their own shows, but I'm pretty sure it's still considered indie. Which is, that movie looked pretty good for a smaller production company making that movie. It was a heavy movie. I wasn't surprised by the content because I watch a lot of documentaries, so I see a lot of talk about different crimes and children trafficking does come up. And I think there's a show, I want to say it's on Netflix, but I might be wrong. And it's called like Undercover Underage, where like this task force kind of like does like the stings, kind of like how Chris Hansen used to do, and they kind of like catch these pedophiles. But so like I'm not surprised about these things happening, but watching the story kind of unfold in a cinematic way was it is pretty heavy.
The way people are talking about it does sound really good. Movies like that, I don't know. I'm really picky when it comes to movies. It needs to be the right amount of funny and sad for me to watch it, or else I want nothing to do with it.
Well, my thing about it is I was impressed. I was impressed because they went. It was like, to me, it was like a David versus Goliath story. Okay, I mean, Disney got spanked by the little guy. All right.
Disney needs to be a topic of conversation.
I mean, they do. I mean, and I'm looking at it. I'm actually looking at an article by Newsweek right now, and honestly, like, moviegoers are anticipating the release of Barbie and Oppenheimer for months now, and both have performed spectacularly at the box office on their opening week. However, the beginning of July brought glowing headlines for Sound of Freedom, which surprised the industry forecasters with an outstanding result at the box office. Sound of Freedom, released on July 4th, 2023, has made the news recently for multiple viral videos and stories from viewers who say they were unable to watch the film at theaters for a number of reasons. AMC Theaters has faced backlash despite CEO Adam Aaron saying no one is surprised to see people suppressing people from seeing the film because it was supposed to be limited release. So people, let's see. Let me go to the highlight here. On multiple days in July, Sound of Freedom shocked many by outperforming international blockbusters Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny and Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 at the box office. Sound of Freedom wrestled back the #1 spot from the latest Mission Impossible movie on Thursday, July 20th, the day before Barbie and Oppenheimer were released. According to numbers from Box Office Mojo, this is especially impressive given it was Sound of Freedom's 17th day in movie theaters, while the 7th Mission Impossible movie had been in theaters for just 9 days. Even now, as Barbie and Oppenheimer have taken over the top 2 spots in the box office, Sound of Freedom's popularity has helped it take 3rd place ahead of Tom Cruise and Harrison Ford's respective movies for the weekend of July 21st to 23rd. Sound of Freedom has made a total gross of $124,433,512 to date and earned $19,825,575,000 over the July 21st to 23rd weekend. It has only received a domestic release, so all of the money has come from North America alone.
Disney definitely dropped a bullet on this one, especially because Disney is very close to being bankrupt.
Yes.
Because of all of the terrible movies they're putting out.
Disney, what is wrong with you?
Look at what just those 4-ish movies that we talked about. Look at the difference. Barbie is a new movie. It's obviously people know what Barbie is. Oppenheimer is a new concept, new movie. Sound of Freedom was a new movie.
I've heard Oppenheimer is very boring.
It's long.
I heard it's. My brother said that it could have been an hour shorter.
Yeah, it's very long.
How long is it?
3 hours.
Not watching that.
Indiana Jones is like the 17th installment, and Mission Impossible is the 17th Part 1 installment.
You guys gonna yell
I
at me
think-
again? I don't think I've ever seen an Indiana Jones
Oh,
movie.
come on, kid.
We're gonna make a top 10 about
Don't
things
like
you need to watch.
movies.
And I'll tell you, I love Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is my boy. Harrison Ford, if you listen to me, I love you, man. You are the man. Even like he's been like on the TV shows he's been making. I just watched an Apple original called Shrinking. Really good show.
Can you name a movie of his that I know?
Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
dude, the guy's like in thousands of them.
Didn't know who he was.
Indiana Jones,
No.
like all of them.
Like look at the movies that came out or are coming out soon. We mentioned the few Mission Impossible, the millionth installment. So was the other movie, Indiana Jones. They come out with Insidious, which is like the 15th Insidious. Elemental, which is new, but that's just a kid's movie. Spider-Man was fantastic, but it's also a 2nd installment. The Meg 2, who I don't know who asked for that, it's coming out in August. Transformers, which I didn't even know they were making a new movie, came out with another installment. Little Mermaid, which no one really wanted that anyways. Sing 2, which is a kid movie, but again, it's
So
Sing 2.
good.
So it's like, I think people are getting sick and tired of rerun shows.
I think it was released in 2022, but Puss in Boots. So good.
I watched it the other day.
So
Not
good.
gonna lie.
For the first time?
Yeah,
I've watched it like 3 times.
good movie.
So good.
So I think between Disney acting up and then putting out, half energy movies or putting out the 7th sequel of a show that should have ended 4 sequels ago. I think people are tired of the same old, and it shows. And now on top of that, we have these writers going on strike, which is not helping these companies that are already
Maybe
going
that's
bankrupt.
why every Disney movie lately is bad.
And to you going bankrupt, and for those who don't know why they're striking because their hours are terrible, they're not getting paid enough on residual pay, and they're not getting paid at all on streaming numbers. Why, you might ask? Because none of the big ones, correct me if I'm wrong, put out their streaming numbers. Why, you might ask? Because it will show that their streaming numbers are not making them any money, and these companies who are publicly traded companies, their stock would plummet if people really knew that Disney and Netflix and Apple TV or Apple Plus, whatever they call it, is not really making hand over fist money that they should. And I think that's where the issue is, that they're putting up the facade. And the writers know this, and they're like, well, if you're going to put us through all this, give us more money. And that's kind of the point where they're at now.
Well, they want to be compensated for their product. There's a great article in Vulture that was put out a little. I think they put out probably about 6 days ago, 5 or 6 days ago. It's called the 2023 Hollywood Strike for Dummies, and it kind of breaks it down pretty nice. It really, and it talks about just like what Will was saying. It talks about how the first sentence really captures your attention. It says, "Have you heard about streaming? Well, if not, know that it's the invasive species of the scripting world, throttling the competition and harmful to the ecosystem of if unregulated. And now, because of changes to entertainment environment due to streaming, both writers and actors are on strike. The WGA, or the Writers Guild of America, asked its writers to vote on authorizing a strike on April 3rd, and on the 17th it was officially announced that members had voted to authorize an with an overwhelming 97.85% yes vote. So just about everybody except for maybe one guy said, yeah, we'll go on strike. When the deadline for a new contract has passed on May 1st, the threat of a writer's strike, which was looming over Hollywood for some time, transitioned into from looming to here. A little over 2 months later, on July 17th, SAG-AFTRA also went on strike with a fiery speech from SAG President Fran Drescher to sound the alarm bells. This is the first time that both the WGA and SAG have been on strike against the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers at the same time since 1960, making it a historical anomaly, if not an unprecedented one. The WGA strike is the first since 2007-2008 strike cursed us with our now indicted ex-president. No, really, it's the reason The Apprentice stayed on the air and reified him in the American conscience as a genius businessman and philanthropist. The strike has served as a reminder that despite functioning as an escape based on creative output for many, the entertainment business is still ultimately a business. So, I mean, they want to get paid. It's a very regular working class existence. Alex O'Keefe, a writer for FX The Bear, told The New Yorker about his work right before the strike, and the only future I'm seeking financially is to enter the middle class, which has always been rarefied for someone who comes from poverty. I mean, they want to get paid. Why is Hollywood on strike? It goes into on the article here, but basically, I mean, it sounds like these guys have some crazy hours, and they work hard. They get very creative. America loves to sit down and just watch their stories, and as a result, these guys want to be compensated for it.
I mean, I'd be upset too if I was getting paid half of what I should for doing double work. I mean, I feel like people are complaining that they're going on strike, but I don't see a problem with it at all.
I mean, my problem is that I'm in a show hole because
Yeah, I'm
none of
not-
my stories have come back.
I'm glad
I'm
I
not
like
mad
video
that they're
games.
doing it. I'm just mad that my shows aren't coming back
I'm
for
glad, I'm,
3
glad
years.
I'm glad I like video games. That's all I'm
Just
saying.
give them what we want so we can get our stuff back.
I mean, the thing about it, and here's what stinks about if you go back to the 2007, 2008 strike. I was in the middle. I had there was a show called I think it was called Casino, and they left it on a cliffhanger, and then they went on strike, and then because the strike went for so long, they just canceled the show.
Yeah, they went back.
So I just never knew what happened. I'm like, what happened?
You gotta like type up a blog. This is how it's supposed to end. Here you go.
Right, start some fan fiction.
Something.
Uh,
I mean, I get why they're doing it. I mean, it only makes sense. But the reason why, I mean, I don't. I guess the next question is like, how long is it gonna last? And I think it's gonna last a while because unless these companies, because the way that I'm guessing the way that this compensation for streaming would have to go is whoever worked on whatever show that went straight to streaming, like how they had those issues with the movies during COVID. I think like Black Widow's movie or TV show went straight to Disney Plus. That was supposed to go to theaters. So now you have to compensate, I'm guessing, on how many views it gets. So now they have to disclose how many views these shows are getting via streaming. And I think these companies know that it's not a lot, it's not as much as they probably project to investors. Because really, Netflix and Hulu and, well, I guess Disney Plus, because Hulu's on Disney Plus, and Max now, we used to be HBO Max, are really held accountable by their investors. So they don't want to put out these subpar numbers because their stock will plummet. I think you're seeing that's why a few months ago now, they had that like mass firing of like ESPN employees. I don't know if you pay attention to ESPN, but they had this mass firing of employees, and people are like, what's going on? It's because Disney's getting rid of dead weight and you know, duplicate jobs because they're losing a lot of money. And personally, I think there's too many streaming services. I think there should just be 2. And I think maybe 3 will survive. It'll probably definitely be Netflix. It'll be
I don't know, man.
Disney
Netflix is trying to survive. I mean, honestly, like Apple TV's coming out with a vengeance because Apple TV's kind of offering you everything.
Well, I think like with Netflix, they just need to sell the few good shows that they do have that people like, and just shut down.
I can see Netflix sticking around.
Cause I don't really watch Netflix. I mean, Netflix, everything pretty much like, and Netflix now it's like you get Netflix for free with T-Mobile.
I
Like-
have Netflix for Wednesday, Shameless, and I want to start Suits. That's it.
Right, but
Literally it.
you know, but anything,
Stranger Things.
anything you want to watch that you can't see on Netflix, you can pretty much buy on Apple TV.
I would agree with you. And when they had the whole thing, they want to stop sharing password. I thought that was like the nail in the coffin for Netflix. But like then everyone just signed up for Netflix again. I was like, if you're gonna like, now you're letting them kind of play you the fool because like you know like, oh, we're gonna take away I think in the beginning the whole thing with Netflix is, oh, share a password with your friends
Oh,
and
I
watch
actually
Netflix.
got that the other day.
Because you know that Hulu's not going to go anywhere because half of NBC is on Hulu now.
Yeah.
Even though which doesn't make sense because Peacock is out there and like I don't understand why they're putting instead of on Peacock they're putting it onto Hulu like say have some kind of partnership. Paramount Plus is definitely not going anywhere because CBS what they're doing instead of canceling shows because most of their shows still have a huge following just not enough for like actual TV time is they're moving it to Paramount Plus.
Well,
So,
what
like-
Paramount Plus is doing is they're also doing the whole like shows that kids from the early 2000s want to see, like iCarly,
Right.
You know, iCarly or Zoe 102 that's coming.
Like
out
I
this week.
love SEAL Team. But SEAL Team didn't have enough to stay on like actual like CBS like network. So they're like, oh, it's going to be exclusive on Paramount Plus. Or for anybody who watches like America's favorite show, or what's it called? Sheridan's show there with the Duttons.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone and all of the Yellowstone spin-offs, you have to have Paramount Plus, or somehow now they differentiate between Paramount Plus, Paramount, and then HBO Max,
I
right?
got the Netflix password thing the other day. So Justin uses our Netflix because I use his Disney Plus, and I signed into it at his house, and it was like, we see that you're not at your regular address, and I had to click like I'm on vacation in order to sign in.
Well, that just happened at my mom's house because they were like, "Oh, we usually use Will and Rachel's," and I'm like, they're like, "Oh." So now we have to create them an account for them to use ours. So Haley's like, "Oh, I gotta wait around it, Dad." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." But I mean, so they clearly have to find a way to compensate these people because it's not going to change because like here's the thing about it all, and there's a few articles that I'm putting out there from the Washington Post and from the Times here, from the New York Times. I mean, they're standing their ground. I mean, and they don't care because honestly, like, and I have another article here that's gonna list out a bunch of stuff that's gonna be paused until this is fixed. But the position is that we're not gonna record, and there's a point here. What will happen to my TV shows and movies? It'll take a while for film goers to notice the change, since most of the movies scheduled for release this year have already been shot. But TV viewers are already seeing the strike's effects. And if it drags on, popular shows could see their next seasons delayed. Hello, we're already seeing that, right? Late night shows are already airing reruns because of their writer's strike, and the vast majority of TV and film productions have already shut down or paused production. Big name shows like Yellow Jackets, Severance, and Stranger Things halted after the writer's strike began, and is not yet clear if their upcoming seasons will be delayed. Disney announced several changes to their theatrical release calendar in June amid the writer's strike.
Everybody started with Disney.
I mean, now the actors' strike will